What's up, what's up, what's up? It is your girl Dom, and welcome back to the Kickback. So, last episode, we had Ivy League students tell us why they believed their Ivy League is the best Ivy League. Now, it is time for some stories. Story time! Story time! Story time! This week's story is about Ivy Day. All 8 members are going to explain how their Ivy Day went, which schools they got into, and why they chose their Ivy, along with answering you guys' questions that you left in the comment section of the convo. So grab your favorite blankie, sit on your favorite couch, grab a cup of coffee, and let's head to the kickback.
Hey y'all.
What's good, y'all? It's Chuka from Cornell.
Hey, it's 𝐋𝐄𝐓'𝐒 again.
This is Andy from Brown.
My name is Abby, and I'm a rising junior at Princeton University.
Hey guys, it's Haley from the University of Pennsylvania.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Hannah again.
Hi everyone, my name is Juan, representing Columbia.
For this follow-up video, Domonique asked me to talk a little bit about my Ivy Day experience and also answer some questions.
So yeah, my Ivy Day experience. Thinking back, it was like 4 years ago, and I didn't really do anything special. It was a kind of a regular day, but I'm gonna tell you what happened anyway. So when I first officially found out that I got accepted, I was in my library at school during my study hall, and no, I wasn't in the library study or nothing. It was just like one of those hangout spots, like during study hall. Like you leave study hall, go to the library, chill. So I'm there with a couple of my friends. It's like 6th or 7th period, and all day people would ask me like, "Oh, you check if you got in?" Like I didn't really check because I was impressed. Also, I was like, I should probably wait until I get home and check with my family and my sisters and stuff. But I was like, nah, I'm just gonna check it out, whatever. I'm there in the library with the people, and I opened the email, and it's like, oh, you got accepted. So they celebrate. Ooh, it's cool. So I get home, tell my parents, tell my sister. They're like, oh, cool, yeah, I'm so happy for you. And I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. Go play some 2K. Thinking back, I probably should have did something like go get dinner with them or something. But
I applied early decision to Dartmouth, so for me it was just one cold, incredibly long day in December. The whole day I was so nervous. I remember being in English class and just like shaking and like just writing in my notebook how nervous I was. I wanted to get in so bad. One, because I love Dartmouth, but also because I hadn't written any other college apps and they would have been due in just a few weeks, and I really didn't want to have to do that. So my decision came out on December 14th, 2018. They came out at 4 p.m., but I knew that I wanted to open my decision at home and alone, so I photoshopped the notification email and tricked my whole family into thinking they were coming out at 7 p.m. The second my watch clicked to 4 p.m., it was like, decisions are out, they're out in the universe right now, but I'm not gonna look, but like they're out there. So I got home around like, I don't know, 5:30, 6 p.m., something like that, and my family was eating dinner, and I was like, I gotta go do some work really quickly, BRB. And so I went down to my room and I logged onto my computer, and I was so scared to look. I kept clicking away, I kept looking away. I was like shaking, and then eventually I clicked open. And of course, the very first thing I saw was the big word, congratulations. I just gasped. I was so happy and so shocked in that moment. I ran up from my desk to go tell my family, shouting like, I got in! And they were all really confused, but mostly really happy. My whole family and my dog started freaking out and jumping up and down. The financial aid was dope, and I loved Dartmouth so much, and honestly, I was just so happy and relieved to have gotten in.
I didn't actually have an Ivy Day experience because I applied early decision to Brown. So I found out December 15th whether I was going or not. It was like 5 o'clock, and I knew that the decision was coming at 6, and I begged my roommate to stay in the room with me and not go eat dinner just so I could have a little bit of company when I found out. 6 o'clock rolls around. I try and log in to find out what my decision was, and for some reason I'd forgotten my password. So I was super nervous. My heart was beating out of my chest. I reset my password, I open up the decision letter, and before I even got to read a word, I saw confetti stream down, and I kind of just freaked out in the moment. I jumped up, gave my roommate a hug, and we were celebrating all over the place. It was awesome. And since that day, I'm very grateful for Brown. For accepting me, and I'm also really glad that the rest of my senior year wasn't so stressful.
It got to be early March, and I still hadn't made a decision. I had submitted my application to Penn, but the way that the recruiting process works at the Ivy League is that there's no athletic or academic scholarships. Rather, you have to apply, and the athletic department they basically advocate for you. So I was so nervous when it was the beginning of March, and I remember I called Coach Dobson. She's the associate head coach at Penn. I asked her if there's any spots left on the team, and I vividly remember her being so excited and so welcoming and really wanted me to still choose Penn, and that was one of the best feelings that I've ever had, because I felt like I was being almost like welcomed home, because it took me so long to find my way.
I felt like I identified most with Harvard. I loved the campus. I loved how it looked. I remember writing my application essays around August of that year. I remember just being at my house and knowing that the day was coming up because I had my interview. And then I remember I was in my living room playing Zelda, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting my notification today. And I remember it was like 7 o'clock that they were gonna come out. And so I was playing up till like 6:55, and then I went and I was just sitting in front of my computer in my room. And then I opened it, and I kept thinking I was reading it wrong. I read it like 5 times in my head, and I kept thinking I was reading it wrong every time. And then I just yelled for my mom. I was just like, Mom! She came in, and she was like, oh, I knew as soon as you yelled my name that you got in. And then we just started freaking out and everything. And it was just one of the best feelings ever. It's still kind of a surreal night. I remember I went over to my friend's house, and like we celebrated there. It was such a great time. It was a great feeling. It felt like kind of everything I was working for in high school kind of came to a head.
When I got into Yale, I came home from school, I went straight to my computer, and I was refreshing it. It was a minute before, so I got really nervous, so I made toast to distract myself. And my mom told me when it was 2 minutes past the deadline, I was making my toast, minding my business. I went over, I calmly opened my email, and then I remember the video popped up that Yale has of Dancing Bulldogs, and the song was playing. And I remember I just immediately started crying into my toast, and my mom was like screaming, and then she called my dad, and we were all super excited. And that was the story about how I got into Yale.
I was actually at Duke for like the scholarship program. They flew me out to like do some interviews, and I was actually there during Ivy Day. People were like took out their phones to like check like, oh my god, did I get into like the Ivies that I applied to? I told myself like I was gonna be patient, I was gonna wait. I really didn't think I was gonna get in, and then I actually like waited. I FaceTimed my mom, did the whole shebang. I was in North Carolina when I found out that I got into Columbia, and then when I did, I had the biggest headache because I was like, oh my god, I got a scholarship to Duke, I got a scholarship to NYU, and now I have to decide between Columbia as well. It's such a privileged thing to say, but like it was just a big nightmare.
If I had to choose another school in the Ivy League to go to, I would probably choose Yale. I think Yale is the most similar to Princeton, and I love the town of New Haven, and I also really admire their social justice and social activism.
I decided that I would either pick UPenn or Columbia. This is just because Brown lacks a little bit of, I spoke about this in the last video, they lack a little bit of pre-professional development, and therefore a lot of us don't have as many marketable skills going into the professional space. And it would be nice to have that competitive edge if I had all the classes that prepared me for that world, I guess.
If I had to choose another school to go to, I'd probably say Brown. I really like the vibe of the campus and the atmosphere, and all of my friends that go there are really cool and really artsy and really nice.
So like I said before, I feel like God put me in Cornell for a purpose. But if I really had to choose another Ivy, I'd probably go with Columbia. Get to be in the city. A lot of cool things happen in the city. I know people in the city. I know someone who transferred into Columbia from Cornell. They say they love it, so like...
Honestly, no college that I toured made me feel the way that Dartmouth did. I remember sitting in the Yale information tour and literally just like daydreaming about Dartmouth because I just toured it a few weeks earlier. But I used to say that it would be Princeton, though I've definitely grown to vibe more with Brown and Yale, I think.
Stanford would be a really great school to go to. But I'm a fan of Harvard, I think. I could go to Yale, or I could go to UW-Madison, right next to my hometown here in Wisconsin. I just love UW, and I have a lot of great friends here, and they have great parties, so it could be a good time.
I would have to say, based on academics, probably Columbia. Going to college in a big city is so fun, and I feel like everyone at Columbia has their stuff together. Juan Jose also offered some great insights during our Zoom call.
And my top 3 ended up being Duke, Columbia, and NYU. I am very humbled to say that Duke and NYU gave me full rides, full scholarship, academic scholarships. And so that was definitely a factor. Between those two, I think I would have said NYU. I love being here in New York City because it's just an amazing opportunity to definitely use it to your advantage and to supplement what you're learning in the classroom and bring it and apply it outside of it.
Yale has 14 residential colleges. They're all different. They all have their own deans, heads of college, mascots, traditions, colors, and it's really great because you're sorted into them before your freshman year. And then you're with a great mix of people. It's about 100-ish people per class. And then freshmen usually live together on old campus their first year, and then they live in their residential colleges for the next 3 years, or if they want to move off campus, they can get an apartment and stay on the dining plan, or not use the dining plan. And they have guaranteed housing for all 4 years of college, which is great. All the residential colleges also compete in IM sports, intramural sports, and they compete against each other, so there's a lot of healthy competition. It's really fun to beef with each other, and they all compete for the Ting Cup, which is this cup the house cup from Harry Potter, and I'm very proud to say that TD, my residential college, has the most Ting Cup wins, and we're very competitive. I think definitely that's one of my favorite things about Yale, and part of the reason I went was the housing system.
So I've only been at Brown for 1 year, so I can't really speak to what housing is like all across campus. I lived in Miller Hall, which was in North Campus, and it was this beautiful, newly renovated dorm, so I had nothing to complain about. My understanding is that in general, Brown's dorms are a little bit older and not up to par with some of the other Ivies. So freshman year, everybody kind of fills out a form that talks about their daily habits and their lifestyles, and then Brown will allocate you to different rooms depending on how you filled out that survey. After freshman year, you enter the housing lottery and you apply to live somewhere. And Brown will do their best to accommodate for your needs, but they do prioritize older students, so seniority does matter in that process.
Alright, so stereotypes. According to Conan O'Brien, Dartmouth is the cool, sexually confident, lacrosse-playing younger sibling who knows how to throw a party and looks great in a down vest. And honestly, I'd agree. Okay, no, for real. There are stereotypes that Dartmouth students are all rich, all conservative, all outdoorsy, or crunchy, as we would like to say. Everyone drinks a lot, everyone goes into finance, and it's cold. It's so cold. So do these stereotypes match up? There are definitely a lot of insanely wealthy people at Dartmouth, but still about half of our student body is on financial aid. So there is socioeconomic diversity, but not enough, especially for the people in the middle. And yes, it's generally true, Dartmouth students do spend a lot of time outdoors. We are literally located in the middle of the New Hampshire wilderness, but by no means is everyone super into hiking, canoeing, spending time outdoors. It's all accessible and there if you want it, but a lot of people are just not crunchy, and that's okay.
So there's, Columbia actually takes in a lot of transfers. I know a couple transfers actually, whether in my year or from extracurriculars that I do. I would say that they have a decent time adjusting. It's just that they focus so much on having to finish the core in their time here. So that's kind of difficult. If you're a junior transfer or a sophomore transfer, instead of having 4 years to complete the core, you have now 3 or 2. So those 6 remaining semesters are dedicated to just finishing the core for them. For some people, finding a friend group in your time here, since friend groups are just very well established by freshman, sophomore year, I think that maybe that adjustment is a little difficult, but I think extracurriculars definitely helps that. I know the friends that I've made that are transfers found friends and a new family through these extracurriculars and these clubs, and just getting to being more involved into the campus.
So Princeton does not have an Insomnia Cookies, which is a cookie store that's for some reason really popular in a lot of other college towns, or several in Boston, several in New York City, one in New Haven that I've been to a lot. And it's like late night cookies that you can order up to like 2 a.m. and they'll deliver them. When I was in high school and I thought about what a college town looked like, that was one thing that was definitely in my head. So it was just a little sad to see that Princeton didn't have one of their own. But we do have a Starbucks. We have places to get Mexican food and Indian food and pizza and subs, so it's okay.
That's a good question. As someone who has always been in the humanities, but kind of interested in everything, I see a lot of interaction between the majors. Like this semester, I took a course in the government department, and then I took another course in the history department 2 semesters ago now. Fall of 2019, I took a course in the sociology department. So like there's been some crossing over. I never had to take a math course because I actually took 𝐅𝐑𝐈𝐄𝐍𝐃𝐒 to fulfill my math requirement. That was great. Is there a lot of separation? Not really, as I said. At least for me, I'm friends with a chemistry major and then a math major. They're my closest friends at Harvard. I tend to not see a big trend between like who are friends together and what their majors are.
The best tip I have for managing time management, I'd say, is to have a planner and to literally utilize every single hour of the day. At Penn, we tend to have the stereotype of being work hard, play hard. So everyone's just like hustling during the week, getting their stuff done. But there's so many opportunities to socialize, whether it be on the weekends or Wednesday at Sink or Swim. Like, you'll definitely find a way to make friends. I also feel like Penn as an institution prioritizes networking, whether it be formally through on-campus events or informally through just like clubs and like, I don't know, parties, I would say.
I commented on this post actually. I'm very stubborn, so I'm not saying Cornell is anything less than top 3. We've got great food. We heavy research institution, graduate schools big, the hotel school, engineering schools top notch. Like, that gotta be top 3 somewhere, right? But in reality, I know we're probably like 6, 7, 8, but y'all didn't hear me say that. But I'm gonna say top 3 just because I'm stubborn. I'm gonna keep it at that and say no more.
I don't know about you guys, but that was some of the best storytelling I've heard in a very long time. Make sure you guys tune in next week because we got some partiers coming to join me at the convo to tell us about parties at the Ivies. Otherwise, make sure you smash that subscribe button and press the notification bell so you can know when I post, even though I post every Monday, Friday, if you did not know. I'll catch you guys at the next kickback. Bye!